Hello, everyone. My name is Kelly Powers, and I am a guidance counselor here at Davis County High School. I am coming to you today from Davis County High School in the form of a video to help you plan for your schedule for your freshman year, for the 2021 school year. This is, of course, different than how we have handled scheduling in the past, but we're going to do our best to get all the information you need to help you plan for your freshman year and to find success at Davis County High School. I am joined today with my friend and colleague, Karen Howard.
Hello, how are you? I'm the instructional coach here at Davis County High School, and I'm also available for questions should you need to have your parents email me later.
Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and what you see on the screen is a PowerPoint that we would typically share with you in a large group setting. So this might be even more beneficial because you can go back and rewind if it's something like, I want to hear more about that. If more questions should arise throughout this, just jot them down, and at the end we'll kind of review who you can go to with certain questions. So again, welcome and thank you for your time in viewing this, and thank you for your help as parents in helping us schedule your students for success at Davis County High School. Our guidance team is made up of several people that you see on the screen right now. The first person is myself, and the letters outside stand for the letters of the alphabet of the students that we help in terms of personal guidance and personal scheduling. So myself, I take care of letters last name A through D. So that has proven to be a positive thing in our school so large with nearly 1,800 students. You will have the same guidance counselor throughout your students' 4-year experience. So as we work with their schedule each year, it's the same counselor that comes back to actually building your student schedule each year. So you can see the rest of the team up there. Miss Tommy Jo Leisner, last name E through J. Mr. Neil Hayden, some of you know him as Davis County High School basketball coach as well. He is the counselor covering letters K through Q. And then we are very excited to be awarded the opportunity to hire a new counselor very soon, and that person will take care of last name R through Z. And there are many responsibilities that fall within the guidance realm, and you'll find that some of us take care of certain things, but always scheduling and personal counseling will be directed this way as a way to establish a relationship with your student. In addition to the guidance team, we also award each student an advocate. And you may have already heard from, or you will in the near future, your student's advocate. And their advocate is basically what you might remember from when you were in school as a homeroom teacher. That teacher is a person that will look after your student, help in the scheduling process, help in guiding your student through high school successfully in all kinds of different ways. And that person will follow them for all 4 years. So just like the counselor, they will also have an advocate with a smaller group, personalized approach to this process. So I look forward to you meeting your advocate. There are probably about 20 to 25 students in your advocate group, typically falling within last name realm, so you will hear from them soon. Also, I would like to add that we will be mailing out, and maybe at the point of this viewing, I'm not sure the exact order of events at this point, you will be getting a couple of documents in the mail. We wanted to make sure you had some of these things that are going to be on the screen in hand. One of them would be our, I know you can't see this, but you'll see it on the screen in a minute. It is our diploma requirements for your student. And then another is, and I know you definitely can't read this, it's teeny tiny font, but it is the list of all the elective options for your freshman students. So know that you're going to get a very detailed, in-depth look at these on paper in the mail very soon. With that also, I would say it shows a description of each and if a prerequisite is required. And when I say the word prerequisite, something you have to take this class before you're allowed to take this. We've tried to gather all the classes that are freshmen only or freshmen and beyond so that you know that you're picking things that are available to your student only. The scheduling handbook is available on our school website. You're welcome to look beyond the freshman year as you start thinking about how you will plan all 4 years. It can just be a bit overwhelming when you're coming from middle school where maybe your only option was Spanish band orchestra, and now you're seeing like the sky is the limit. And that's something we're really excited about at Davis County High School, is all the opportunities we can offer your student, but we don't intend to overwhelm you. So for that reason, we have this document available to you and your student. Moving down the list, Megan Nicodemus is our Youth Service Center Coordinator. She provides all kinds of resources to help students be successful in the classroom. So we look to her to remove any barriers that a student might face in the classroom, in the home, and she is great for helping with school supplies if your student should need it, clothing, and anything in between. She really fills in the gap in our office quite often for students and families and their needs. Next on the list, you see Trey Pippin. He is our CCR counselor. CCR is a word or an acronym you'll hear often in the guidance office. It's College and Career Readiness. So he is trying to get your student ready beyond high school. So he's constantly talking about college, careers beyond high school. So while you're thinking about getting your kid ready for high school, he's on the other end thinking about their next transition post high school. So you will hear from him in a video as well, and more of his services will be available as your student progresses through their high school years. And next you see Amanda Jerome. Some of you may have already met her. She is our CCR District Coordinator, Community Campus Director as well. So some of your students have already heard from her about Engineering and Life Science Academy. She is the person that oversees that, as well as early college and our entire dual credit system. So she is someone you will look to hear from in the future as well, and she will be providing a video with her team, including Mr. Pippin, in the near future. And then also down there, my face is in the way a little bit, but it says advocate teacher. And so that's your core person. That's your first point of contact when you are thinking about scheduling. That is the person who will sit down with you each year to review what's recommended and what you would like to do with that. Next, scheduling supplies from advocates. So as I mentioned before, you will be getting some information in the mail in the form of a paper copy. That graduation checklist is one of them. On the back side of that is also a 4-year plan. I don't want you to get too overwhelmed with this. It is very hard to know what your soon-to-be high school student wants to do tomorrow, much less 3 years from now. So I'd like for you to take this time to really relax and only focus on what would they like to do next year in high school. It's hardly the case that you could make a decision that wouldn't allow them to do something different the next year. So I will try to comment on that as we go throughout in the different subject areas and what's available. Right now, I think your freshman year is a great time to just explore a variety of interests and things they think they might like. And also to ask them to be flexible, because with 1,800 students comes 1,800 different requests, and just to be super honest, we cannot fulfill all of them. So know that you're going to be entering in your requests. We do our best to make students happy, but sometimes you just don't get everything that you wish for. And sometimes in that, what you see at first maybe is like, oh man, I didn't get something I love. You end up in a class that you didn't ask for, but you find something else that you really find interest in, or maybe even a talent. So bear with us and know that we all have your best interests at heart, from your advocate to your guidance counselor. As a school, we are trying to provide you with the best opportunities. Also, you see on here recommendations from middle school. Prior to our recent occurrences, we were able to meet with your students' 8th grade teachers at each school and talk to them about how they might help us in the recommendation process for next year for the courses that your students would take. So we will have that information in the computer, and somewhere in the process, and this is a video for later, you will see what has been recommended for your student, and then you will have a chance to evaluate that. I have Miss Howard here with me. I'm going to let her speak for a minute on how she helped me guide teachers in that with the use of map data and just their current work ethic. So if you would speak on that, just
Sure.
English, math, social studies, and science are the 4 areas that we ask for recommendations from the middle school.
Okay, so when we talk about where you're going to end up with your classes, and you're going to be able to request a certain class level. So you could request to be an AP or pre-AP. You could request to be in CP level. So as you look at the different levels and you make your requests and recommendations, your teachers are also going to be, from middle school, who know you, going to be making some recommendations as well. And then your upcoming teachers, the ones that you will be scheduling with, are also looking at those recommendations from your middle school teachers in combination with your map data, and looking to see where you might fall in our scheduling process with them. So I think what we want to do is make sure that every student has a very successful freshman year academically, and we want to make sure that you're going to be with the teacher and in the area where you are the most successful. So it's a combination of all three perspectives: your incoming or your teachers that you're going to be incoming into their classrooms, the teachers that you just left who know you pretty well, and then what your hopes and dreams and plans are for the future. And you put all three things in combination, and hopefully we can get you exactly where you want to be.
Thank you. Okay, and this is a copy of the Davis County Public Schools diploma requirements. From the state, we were awarded some changes last year. So our current freshmen and beyond, that would include your student, has this graduation checklist. If you are a parent like myself and you've had students maybe in the school right now, I have one coming up and one in the senior class, their diploma requirements are different. So if this looks different to you as a parent, that is on purpose and intentional. So if you get your hands on a check sheet, just make sure that you are looking at this one, particularly for your students. So this class will follow this guideline. And there's just some minor differences. But with that, you can see career prep, career, college prep, and honors diploma. Each requires the same number of credits. That's 26. And when you go throughout, you can see how they each progress a little differently. And we can answer questions about that at a later time, but you can see that the freshman requirements that we'll speak about here in a minute are pretty much the same in each of these. It's later on in their high school career that makes a difference as to whether they're going to go on and reach for the college prep or even potentially the honors diploma. And we'll be happy to help with that as we go along. And on the back of that paper that you'll get in the mail is this practice scheduler that I mentioned earlier. And with that, you can see first, second, third, and fourth quarter. We have 18-week classes at our high school. So what you start in August, you finish in December. So that is an 18-week course. Sometimes classes are awarded a half credit. And you'll see that when you start looking at this document and you're seeing what different electives are, that some are 9 weeks, like painting is 9 week versus Art 1 is 18 weeks. So when you fill in kind of your wish list on this practice scheduler, it might be fun to fill out at least the freshman year one. You're going to want to include English, math, science, and social studies, which would all be 18-week classes. And then that leaves you with 4 blanks or potentially 8 if you divide them with 9 weeks. So you have several opportunities to explore some different electives that the high school offers. And I think as an 8th grader, that's something I forget about that probably is most exciting to you, is all the opportunities that you have. Starting with foreign language, you're used to being exposed to Spanish. Now at our school, you have the opportunity to request Latin or French or Spanish. So those are just a few of the options that you will have next year. The freshman schedule. Each freshman schedule will look fairly similar in many ways. As I mentioned before, you have 8 full credits to fill, or 8 spots. So 4 classes until Christmas, and then you start fresh in January with 4 new classes. The main core classes that you're going to see in every schedule is English 1, a math class, and depending on where you are in your math curriculum, the majority of you will see Algebra 1. You will see Algebra 1 only. Those of you that are in Algebra 1 this year and are finding success, you will be moved into Geometry Pre-AP. Those of you that are in Geometry this year will see that you are moved into Algebra 2 Pre-AP. And a very few of you, I know, I met a few of you, I think, in the hall the other day, are in Algebra 2 this year, and you all will progress to Pre-Cal Pre-AP. And again, you should see those recommendations when you log into Infinite Campus to actually do your scheduling process and requests. You should see those as well. So again, the math just follows that particular order, and if you look at the graduation checklist, you'll see that it follows that order as well. In English, you have 3 options. Everyone's English 1 freshman year. It's going to be College Prep Accelerated, which means all of what you do in College Prep moving a little bit faster. And then Pre-AP, which is moving towards our AP curriculum. So according to, as Ms. Howard mentioned, your MAP data, your work ethic, your goals, you can select which one. We like for you to really give a lot of time considering what your teacher this year offered. They spent quite a bit of time with you the whole year, most of you. So think long and hard about what they've recommended for you, but also feel free to have an open conversation with your parent and your advocate about a change that might be necessary according to what you feel you can do or want to do here at our school. Next, in the social studies world, you have the option of world history, and with that you can go the same as the English, college prep accelerated, or pre-AP. And then our very top, most rigorous, loving students will choose AP Human Geography. And that is a class that earns college credit at the conclusion of the year with an AP test. So a student must take a test and score a 3, 4, or 5 to earn what is equivalent to college credit. You will see later, or if you flip back to looking at the graduation checklist, you will see that honors, one thing that separates honors from the other diplomas, is 5 AP courses. It is not a requirement that you take any your freshman year in order to get that diploma. I know plenty of seniors this year that I'm working with that are taking 3, even 4 to work towards that diploma. So it is okay to put this off if you don't think your student is ready for it. However, we encourage those who are ready for rigor and looking for a challenge to jump in with both feet in this course. We do see several sections of this make each year to the tune of probably, I would say, around 90 students end up out of the freshman class in one of these AP Human Geography classes, and they really enjoy the challenge. They also have probably a minimum of an hour of homework a night. So that's something to take into consideration. If you're in the band, if you're on the football team, how does this work into your day, and what do I want my high school experience to look like? Again, this is personalized and up to you individually. Also, in the science world, you're either going to have integrated science or AP Environmental Science. And it's just those two simple options. So if you like the AP version, just like I discussed about AP Human Geography, same thing. There's an AP test in May where you can earn college credit as a result of being successful on that test. Or you can stick with the traditional integrated science route. So that option is for you. Integrated science is just that, integrated science. So you will not see a different level of that. So you're either in integrated science or AP Environmental Science. Only 2 choices there. And last, I think my face video is cutting a little bit off, but what that word says is fit for life. And you will request fit for life, PE, and health. And there are no levels with that. Everyone is getting the same exact curriculum with that. Those are 2 separate 9-week classes. So all of our freshmen will take fit for life, PE, and health. So if you do the math on this, you have English, math, social studies, science, and then PE and health. That's 5. That leaves you with 3 opportunities for electives your freshman year. So just to start thinking about how will you fill those 3 blocks of time your freshman year. Electives. So these are some of the opportunities, the broader categories of things that students might consider at Davis County High School. First of all, there's options in our agriculture. We have a very large following in our FFA program, and to be a member of that club, you have to take an ag class. The required, or the recommended course to take freshman year in that department is Principles of Agriculture. So if you're a student who's always wanted to be a part of FFA, that is the class for you. There are a variety of art classes that are very, very popular here at our school. There is business classes that it leads into a co-op experience, junior and senior year potentially. There's family and consumer science classes. PE, so in addition to the Fit for Life Health and PE, there are also additional PE electives. So if you're a sports loving, love to be active kind of student, there are opportunities for you to do more than just the minimum Fit for Life PE and health. And then with technology, we have a variety of courses as well offered. Some things to mention are year-long courses. If your student is in the band, that will take 2 entire blocks of their year. So when I say there are 5 blocks, band takes the 6th and 7th block. However, band takes care of PE, so that 9-week class you can mark off your list. So if you are a band student, again, to repeat that, you would not request Fit for Life PE, and you can see how that creates another opening in your schedule. Band, choir, and orchestra also all check the box on your diploma checklist that says Performing Arts elective, 1 credit. if you complete a year in either of those 3 programs, then you will earn that credit as well. So you'll be able to check that off. If you are not in band, choir, or orchestra, you will do some sort of performing arts before you graduate, and the choice is yours. And that goes back up into art or maybe a theater class. And there are a large variety of options for you as well. ROTC is a year-long program, and it takes care of health and PE. So if you are a student interested in joining the ROTC program and you commit to 1 full year of that, it takes care of your health and PE elective. So again, if you are an ROTC student, there is no need to also request Fit for Life Health or Fit for Life PE, as the curriculum in those classes are covered in the ROTC program. Next, I just want to speak briefly about Community Campus Engineering. Engineering is a year-long program that takes place at Apollo High School. There's an application involved, and many of you have probably already heard from Ms. Jerome and Mr. Pippin about this. You can find more information on our website about that particular offering. What I want to mention to you now is that with engineering, that takes place on Apollo's campus, and transportation is required to get the student back to school by us, but the early drop-off starts at Apollo and would require you to get your student there. If you struggle with transportation, it's recommended that your student request the PM version of that class, where they would leave after 3rd block on our bus, go to Apollo, and then our bus would bring them back for any afternoon activity or even afternoon bus routes home. Life Science Academy is another year-long offering under the umbrella of Community Campus. That is for students interested in the health science field, medical field, nursing, etc. That takes place at OCTC and in the morning or the afternoon as well, so you can request that. But just know that your student is off campus for an entire block of time. So where we say English, Math, Science, Social Studies, LSA or Life Science Academy takes another entire block of time. With that, they cover the health curriculum. So if your student is requesting Life Science Academy, they would not request Fit for Life Health, because that curriculum is covered during LSA throughout the first year in the program. As I mentioned before, Ms. Jerome is the director of our CCR program in our district. She has more information on the community campus programs, including engineering, Life Science Academy, and even the ever popular and growing Early College Academy. Many of you have heard that some of our students are graduating with their associate's degree in high school. That is what's known as the Early College Academy. That is something that your student could take advantage of their junior and senior year. More information on that can be found on our website as well, or by reaching out to Miss Amanda Jerome or Mr. Trey Pippin. More videos with information on that will become available soon. But again, that's more for our upperclassmen at this point. At the end of the sophomore year, that's when they would be applying for that program. Owensboro Community and Technical College, Mr. Pippin oversees all of our dual credit classes. Benchmark ACT scores are required. If your student hasn't already done so, we recommend them taking the ACT if they're looking to move into dual credit classes their junior year. So it's just something to put on your radar and start considering now, so you see where they are and what kind of help and what areas they may need improvement in order to take advantage of those programs, if that's something that you wish for your student. There are also technical programs that you are familiar with, could be automotive, welding, etc. Those require an ACT benchmark as well. So when we talk about early college, community campus, all of those things require an ACT score. So it's important to look closely at those applications to see what your child might need to be eligible for those programs. We have many, many students at the high school taking advantage of those, and we want your student to be allowed to do so as well. So the ACT is kind of the gate that allows them to enter into those programs. Honors Diploma, I mentioned before, that's our most prestigious diploma at Davis County High School. The difference is, in addition to the 26 credits that the other diplomas require, it requires 5 AP classes of your choice. So a math science kid can focus on those areas. A language arts person can do that, social studies, foreign language. We have nearly 20 to 23 different AP offerings each year. So you would need to complete 5 of those prior to graduation your senior year. And also, in addition to the AP requirement, the Honors Diploma requires 3 or more years of the same foreign language. And there is often questions about that. They want to take Spanish 1, Spanish 2, and then switch and take Latin 1. It would require you to take 3 of the same. So we're looking for that level 3 of, Latin 3, French 3, or Spanish 3 for that. And again, over 20 AP course options at Davis County. All of the AP exams typically happen in May. The scheduling timeline. What you can expect is there are course requests that you will put in, that we will send more information on how exactly that happens from your Infinite Campus, and you will see what that looks like in terms of requests that were put in for you, or rather recommendations is the better word, I guess, that were put in for you for your students' English, Math, Science, or Social Studies, and then from there you will enter in what you would like. So imagine that you're kind of creating your wish list, so to speak, for, in addition to the core classes that I'm required to take, these are the ones that I would like to explore at Davis County. And again, just keep an open mind with that and know that you don't always get first, second, third choice, but eventually throughout your high school career, we find that most students are able to find and get to experience those that they are wishing for. A note on that, as you start looking at those requests, what we would like you to focus on as far as the number of requests that you put in are 6 additional full credits. So when I say full credit, again, we go back to the conversation I said earlier about an 18-week class equals 1 credit. English 1 is 18 weeks, 1 credit. In addition to English, Math, Science, Social Studies, Fit for Life, Health, and PE, which you will all request, think about how you would enter in 6 full additional credits and then 2 alternates. So alternates tell us, as your guidance counselor, these are the ones that I'm willing to take if these other ones don't work out. So be sure to make sure that your alternates are kind of your last choice of options, and know that we do our very best to make a schedule that is suitable for you. Schedule pickup happens in the summer typically. We put those dates out late in the summer. It's usually around the week before school. And then prior to that, you all typically get yours the day of your scheduled freshman orientation. So that is a time when you have your schedule in hand, you're meeting freshman teachers, you're the only one in the building, and it's a nice chance to kind of spread your wings and see what it's like to be a high school student without the upperclassmen. So you all have the benefit of getting in here, seeing your schedule, and we even ring the bells and just tell you about the daily procedures of what's expected of you as a high school student. And at this point, this concludes our presentation of scheduling and kind of what to expect. Again, future videos will